Yo, bro, man, bro, it's been 20 days since I started this challenge, man. Speaking to the camera for the past 20 days, man. It's crazy to me, man. I can't believe I'm still here making these videos. But this video is a little different from the other videos just because it's a lot longer, right? You know, I want to tell you guys and share with you guys, what has changed since then, since I started this whole challenge. And if you guys don't know what the challenge is, so basically what I'm doing is I'm recording myself speaking to the camera for the next 60 days, and I'm on day 20. Like I said, man, crazy. But, you know, what I thought would change didn't really change, right? Like sometimes I'll still get nervous before talking to the camera, but if you were to ask me to do this like a month ago, I'd be like, no way, man. I'm not speaking to the camera. Or I would be like, yeah, man. And I would just sit there, stare at the camera, or just start the recording and not know what to say, right? And sometimes it can be like that, man. So most of the time, like to help me out, I'll I don't really write a script out for my videos. I just kind of more of just bullet points, right, on what I'm gonna speak to the camera, right? And it's a little easier for short form content because you really only have time for like one topic, right? So for longer videos, you need multiple bullet points, right? And I feel like that's a lot easier because I've tried the whole thing with the whole script and it just feels unnatural to me, bro. Like, I don't know, I feel like a computer, man. So, and yeah, man, that doesn't seem natural to me. So I just, do the bullet points and just yap, bro. Just yap. Just pretend just pretend you're talking to the bro. Like, he's right here, man. You're talking to him like, bro to bro. Like, that's how you should communicate, man, to the camera, bro. That's the easiest way, in my opinion, right? You're not speaking in front of a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people might see your video, man, which is still mind boggling to me, man. Like a whole bunch of people see your video, right? And I don't have a crazy viral video yet, right? My most viewed video, short video, is like 1.4K around there. But hey, man, we all start somewhere, right? And just imagine, bro, 1,400 people like in front of you and you're talking to them, man. That's crazy, right? And even just 100 people too, bro. Like 50 people, bro. Like, man, it's crazy. And it does get a lot easier speaking to the camera. It comes off natural. You don't really think about it. You just do it. And I had this similar experience. So when I was in school, I mentioned in my short videos that I went to school to be a respiratory therapist, and going into the respiratory therapy program, I was quiet, bro. I didn't say anything, bro. So I was surprised even that I chose that program to go into that field, right? Because you're gonna be talking to patients every day, man. That's just, and not just patients, coworkers, doctors, and nurses, and all this, man. So but I did it, man, and I did it, and I did it because I wanted to challenge myself, man. I wanted to grow, bro. I wanted to stop being that shy kid, man. Because you have to be, you don't have to turn into an extrovert, man, to be successful. You just need to talk, bro. At least talk, man. And and at the beginning it was really hard for me, bro. Like, it was nerve-wracking, bro. I remember, like, I pulled up to the parking ramp. I was just there 30 minutes early, and I was like, man, should I really put myself through this? Like, this is optional, man. I can just go home and just go on with my day, right? But I had told myself, I was like, nah, man, like, shoot, man. I had to retake a couple classes, microbiology and anatomy, physiology. I retook those classes because I failed them, and I was like, nah, man, I worked way too hard to just give up just like this, man. I haven't even started. I haven't even tried it. So how am I gonna give up, right? So I was like, man, whatever, bro. Boom, boom. You know, Went inside, and that first day was hectic, man. I'll be honest, bro. Because they, you're always with the preceptor. Someone's watching, someone's with you, right? So you go into the patient's room. Just going into the patient's room, he's like, hey, good morning. I'm Eric. I'm the respiratory therapy student. Boom, boom, and all that. To me, that was the fucking hardest thing ever, bro. Like, I'll be honest. And for some people, that's nothing, bro. Like, why are you thinking about it? And me, like, I always thought about it way too much at the time, bro. Because, like I said, I didn't really talk that much. And, it got a lot easier as the more times I did it, right? And And that's still like I was still kind of nervous in the way, right? Especially when it came to like family members and all that, man. But then eventually, I started to really perfect my my craft, right? Like setting up ventilators, talking to patients about the treatments and all that. And the more you do it and the more you get educated on the topic, the easier it gets to talk about it, right? You don't even think about it, you just do it. It's like normal talk to you, right? Because you know it. And so, like I said, it gets a lot easier, man. And that's with anything in life, bro. If you try something, you just at least got to give it a try, man. And if you fail, do it again, man. Fail, do it again. Like I'm telling you, like I failed those two science classes, and I didn't really look at it like, oh shit, it's the end of the world, man. I'm gonna go switch careers, because I failed it. Like, nah, man. I was like, I'm gonna do it again. I did. And the second time that I took those classes up, bro, I passed with basically a perfect grade, man, which is crazy, right? I went from failing to like exceeding, man. Like, so you just gotta try again, man. And that really helped me out as far as like talking to people, bro. Was being talking to patients, talking to family members, talking to doctors, nurses, and other my coworkers, right? It really helped out a lot. And in this thing with the whole recording myself, I wanted to try it too. So I tried this about shoot, it's almost 5 years ago, bro. Almost 5 years ago. And I still have those videos, and I'll put it on here, and I'll let you guys watch it, man. It's just to me, it's just really cringe, just because like you could tell I was nervous because, bro, it was dark. I had the music blasting. I was like, I couldn't even understand myself, man. So yeah, man. So you really start growing, man. And then when I recorded that video, like I hadn't been in the program just yet. That was that same year, but I hadn't started the program just yet. And so I can tell it really did help me out. And also what I've been doing to help me out to speak is also reading books, man. And I know, man, reading books isn't the funnest, right? And some people read for fun, man. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. Everyone has their own, what they like, right? To me, it was never reading, that's for sure. But I bought this book. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People, and that book is good, man. It's an easy read. You learn a lot of things just reading that book, man. And I picked that book just because it really interested me, right? Because of what I'm doing, right? I'm trying to improve myself, self improvement. That's one of the things is communication, right? And it has really helped me out, to be honest. I'm almost done with the book. I have this other book that I'm gonna get to. I think that's the uh 10 Laws of Power, I think is what it's called. I can't remember really, but that's probably my next book that I'm gonna get. And I would pick a book if you're gonna do that too. I would pick a book that you're interested in, right? And it's got to be an easy read. Don't get something that's fucking big and thick, like a whole bunch of pages. Like, don't do that, And this book's not that short either. It's like a couple hundred pages, right? But pick something that's really gonna interest you, right? That way it can keep you focused and intrigued and interested into the book, right? And it makes it a lot easier. And don't just read it; you gotta read it out loud, bro. And if it's cringe to you to read it at home because you got family members and all that, man, go to your car. Boom. That's how I did it, man. Every time, like during lunch break, that's what I would do. I would go in there, go to my car, read a chapter, eat my lunch, and go back inside. And just doing that has really helped me out, man. Just doing that. And the reason that you want to read those books out loud is because you're training your muscles, your vocal cords, right? You're training them. Just like with anything, if you're working out, you're training your muscles. The same thing. You're talking, and that's how you train your vocal cords, right? And um, so that's the one thing I really did was that, and then also this right here. This was the next step right here, recording videos. And I was always no, I was always nervous of actually posting myself speaking. I've posted videos of myself like not speaking. That was no problem because I'm not talking, right. But I was always self conscious about the way I sounded, the way people would perceive me from my voice and all that, or how I looked, right. And eventually, like, I was like, man, I'm too I'm too grown to be worrying about what other people have to say, right? And and I did that way too much, man. As from a kid to basically in my late 20s, man. That's how I was, man. I always worried about what people had to say, and it kept me from doing a lot of things, to be honest, right? And I don't really like to think about it that much because, like I said, I can't really change the past, right? You can only change today and tomorrow. And, you know, there was a lot of opportunities that I passed up just because I was shy, man. And I told myself, I was like, no, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to pass up on an opportunity because I'm shy, right? I'm going to work on myself. That way I'm not shy, you know? And that's how you got to see it, man. Like, you might have been to the same, position too. You passed up on opportunities because you were shy. And hey, man, we have to stop that, right? We have to work on ourselves, improve how we speak, improve how we look. Take care of ourselves, right? We only got one life, man. And I know there's that one saying, maybe in another life, like, nah, bro, like this is the life, man. This is the life that you want to make things happen, man. And because you say another life, like, do you know you're gonna have another life, man? Do you know you're gonna wake up again, like, or something like that? Like, it's not. It's unrealistic, man. It has to be this life, not the next life. This is the life right here, right? And that's how you got to see it, man. And you really got to boost yourself up, bro. And not in a way like you're talking down on people and all that, man. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, as in yourself, man. Look in the mirror and be like, man, you are that guy, man. You're gonna get shit done. And that's how you gotta talk to yourself, man. You gotta be confident. You can be confident without being arrogant, man. But there's a lot of people that are, they're confident but they're arrogant, and I'm not trying to be one of those people, be the arrogant person. I want to be confident, but I don't want to be arrogant. And if you want to be arrogant, that's on you, man. That's No one's gonna stop you, right? But that's not me. And that's how, honestly, man, like I said, man, like, this is all a learning this is all a learning thing, man. Like, you're not gonna get it on the first try. The first couple of videos that I made, man, do you know how many times I stopped the recording and did it again? Bunch of times, man. I went to that memory card quick. But I stopped doing that just because, like, man, no, I gotta get my shit. I gotta lock in, man. I gotta lock in, man. So I kept telling myself, I gotta lock in, man, because I want this whole series to be real, man, real and authentic. I'm not trying to edit it this and there, but we'll cut that out. Like, no, man, I want this to be real and authentic, man. Because I see all the videos on self improvement, they're just like this, man. They're just real, authentic, one take. They're not going there editing, doing all these special edits, man. And I like those videos, man. I like those videos that are just simple, boom, straight to the point. They're real and authentic. You feel like you're right there sitting with them, man. And I took inspiration from a lot of different creators, man. And one of them is Sam Sulek, man. His videos, bro, minimal edits, man. But he's one of the biggest creators right now, man. And he makes you feel like you're in the car with him, speaking you like bro to bro, and it keeps you interested, man. Keeps you interested. And I always watch his videos, man. And there's other self improvement creators out there too, man. I just found this guy out too, Jack or something, Jack something. I forgot his name, but he stopped posting like 5 months ago. I was like, damn, man, I found you too late, man. Hopefully Jack comes back. Hey, man, if you guys watch Jack, man, tell him he needs to come back, man. Well, just watching his videos, man, has really helped me out, man. And um, like I said, man, it gets a lot easier, man. Don't overthink it, right? Like I said, if you're gonna make these videos, like, just do bullet points. Don't try to script the whole video out, because I promise you, you're gonna fuck up. Do it all over again. You're gonna fuck up, do it all over again. You don't want to do that, man. You want the bullet points, straight to the point, real, man. And if you do want to do a script, man, that's on you, bro. But I'm just telling you from my experience, right? You know, just bullet just make a list, on what you're going to talk about the video and what the overall topic of the video is going to be.